When 74-year-old Thomas looked around his house, it didn't feel like home anymore. It felt like a storage unit for decades of memories, just-in-case gadgets, and piles of clothes that hadn't seen sunlight in years. The hallway was barely walkable, the guest room had turned into a mountain of unopened boxes, and his kitchen counters disappeared under stacks of old newspapers. He didn't notice how heavy it all felt, until the day he tripped over a stack of magazines and landed on the floor with a bruised hip and tears in his eyes. That was the moment it hit him. This stuff isn't saving me. It's trapping me. What Thomas did next didn't just change his home. It changed his life. He didn't hire an organizer, and he didn't spend months agonizing over every object. Instead, he used 5 simple decluttering hacks designed specifically for seniors. These aren't the usual Pinterest tricks. They're senior-friendly low-energy steps that help Thomas clear decades of clutter and rediscover peace in his home. And the best part? You can do this too, even if you're overwhelmed, exhausted, or don't know where to begin. Before we dive in, let me ask you, have you ever felt stuck looking at all your stuff, not knowing where to start? Drop a comment with your biggest decluttering challenge. I read every single one. And if you're ready to take back your space and your peace of mind, hit that like button now and subscribe for more life-changing tips for seniors. Now let's get into the first hack that saved Thomas from drowning in his own possessions. Hack 1. The 5-minute clarity rule. Thomas's first mistake was believing he had to tackle his entire house at once. That thought alone paralyzed him for years. Here's what he did instead. He set a timer for just 5 minutes and walked through his home. He didn't pick anything up. He didn't clean a thing. He just looked and wrote down 3 areas that instantly made his chest feel tight. The dining room table buried under unopened mail. The closet stuffed with clothes from the 80s. And the hallway where he'd fallen. Those 5 minutes gave him clarity. Instead of clean the house, he now had a starting point: clear the hallway. And here's the thing, Thomas started small. He didn't even declutter the whole hallway. He focused on one small patch of floor and cleared just enough space to walk safely. In that moment, he realized something powerful. Decluttering isn't about finishing everything. It's about starting something. That tiny win gave him momentum. Hack 2. The 1-in, 1-out rule, Senior Edition. Next, Thomas made a promise to himself. For every single item he decided to keep, one had to go out. When he picked up an old pair of shoes, he asked, "Do I actually wear these anymore?" He didn't. Out they went, and with them, he found space for the shoes he did use daily. He even applied this to sentimental things. He kept his favorite family photo albums but donated decorative vases collecting dust for 20 years. He held on to his warmest 3 jackets but gave the rest to a local charity helping seniors in need. Each item donated became a gift to someone else, and each cleared space felt like a gift to himself. Hack 3. The stranger test. Thomas sat in his living room staring at a dusty box of keepsakes from decades ago. His late wife's china set, piles of faded greeting cards, and an old clock that hadn't worked in years. All of it felt impossible to part with. That's when he asked himself one simple but life-changing question. If a stranger walked through my house tomorrow, would they understand why I kept this, or would they think I'm hoarding? The answer hit him hard. Would a stranger understand why he kept a broken clock, just in case? Or why his hallway was lined with 12 pairs of walking shoes when he only wore one? Probably not. So Thomas decided to see his home through a stranger's eyes. One by one, he held items in his hands and asked, "Is this helping me live today, or is it anchoring me to a yesterday that's already gone?" The transformation was shocking. He kept his wife's favorite teacup, the one they'd used on rainy mornings together. But he let go of the rest of the china set, knowing it could bring joy to a family who'd actually use it. For his sentimental greeting cards, he picked 5 that truly made his heart warm. The rest? He thanked them for the memories and let them go. Hack 4. The future self rule. That box in the attic labeled, "Someday," had been sitting there for 20 years. But here's the truth. Someday never came. So Thomas started asking a different question. Does this item serve the person I'm becoming, or is it chaining me to the past? That single question flipped everything. The business suits he hadn't worn since retirement? Gone. His future self didn't need them. The camping gear from trips he could no longer take because of his arthritis? Donated to a young couple starting their adventures. Instead, he kept only the things that matched his future. Comfortable clothes for gardening. A cozy chair by the window for reading. His watercolor supplies to start painting again, a dream he'd put off for decades. By focusing on his future self, Thomas stopped seeing decluttering as losing memories, and started seeing it as making space for new ones. Hack 5. The Goodbye Ceremony. Even with all the progress Thomas had made, one box remained untouched in his bedroom closet. It was filled with his late wife's belongings, her favorite scarf, handwritten recipes, and a small jewelry box she used to keep on her nightstand. Every time he tried to open it, a wave of guilt and sadness would pull him back. But this time, Thomas did something different. He didn't treat decluttering like a chore. He turned it into a ceremony of gratitude. One by one, he picked up each item, held it close, and said, "Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the love you brought into my life." For the scarf that still carried her perfume, he smiled through tears and decided to keep it. It brought him comfort. For the old jewelry she hadn't worn in years, he whispered, "It's time for these to bless another family." Instead of feeling guilt for letting go, he felt peace. Thomas realized something profound that day. Memories aren't in the objects. They're in my heart. This simple goodbye ceremony became his secret weapon for tackling the most emotional items in his home. In just 5 days, Thomas went from living in a cluttered maze to walking freely through a space that finally felt like his own. His hallway was clear. His kitchen counters sparkled. His guest room, ready for visitors again. But more importantly, Thomas felt lighter, happier, free. 3 months later, he joined a local senior art class, hosted his grandchildren for a weekend, and even started volunteering at the community center. Decluttering isn't about throwing away your life. It's about creating space for the life you still have ahead. If Thomas can do it at 74, one small step at a time, you can too. Tell me in the comments. What's the one item you've been holding on to that it's time to release? Let's talk about it. I read every single comment. Hit that like button if you're ready to reclaim your home and your peace of mind. And subscribe now because I share new senior-friendly tips every week to help you make this chapter your best one yet. Remember, it's not about losing the past. It's about finally making room for your future.